told us in school one time that left-handed people were more creative.
Yeah.
And I got so pissed off.
Me too. Exactly.
I thought I was creative.
As I'm working on this piece, like, these memories are coming up that I haven't thought about since I was that age.
Yeah, the pencil, I'm really digging that.
It's reminding me of the time when I was really, really close to my mom.
She would always tell me, you know, if you keep up with your art, then maybe you could do these illustrations someday. That actually really encouraged me.
I know my mother still loves me to death, but she, like she has to treat me a certain way because, you know, because she doesn't really, she doesn't, like, respect, like, my life choices, but she is the reason that I'm an artist, and she gave me all of the initial impetus to do the work that I do now.
I think it's almost time to take a small break.
These balls are not sanitized.
Yeah, they're not.
There's so many germs right here.
I don't care, though.
The ball pond is so awesome. They're like huge, bouncy balls.
Nicole. I like Nicole a lot. It would be so fun to bring Nicole on a date because it would probably be magical. There'd be a tree fort involved and Christmas lights.
It has been pretty obvious for a little while that Miles and Nicole have a heavy flirtation going on. Good for them. Maybe it'll make them weaker in the competition and help out the rest of us.
It's time for me to go up and actually do some work.
I get costume puzzle.
This isn't playtime. This is playtime for me. Okay? It's not like I'm trying to make little magic ponies.
Children, I brought you some snacks.
Oh, cool.
Show me what you're up to.
I wanted to try this sort of experiment where I'm trying to draw like a child. So I put my pencil in my left hand. I just practiced sort of drawing with this like forced jerky line and trying to do drawings that I would have done as a child.
So you understood the challenge of doing a drawing like a child.
That's how I'm interpreting it.
Were your drawings as a child similar to what you've just done?
When I was very young, yeah.
3-year-old or slightly older?
Maybe like 5 or 6 or something.
I'm not totally overwhelmed by it when I look at it. But, you know, if we were 3 years old, I would be utterly impressed. I don't know whether this is the way to interpret the challenge.
Once again, he's concerned that my piece is going in this very literal direction.
Great, thank you.
And I was like, oh,
There are a few things in this piece. It's really about how I became an artist. I attribute a lot of that to my mom. My mom was a single parent, so I was the only child, so drawing was like what I did all the time.
I feel you've recreated a work like you must have possibly done when you were 11 or 12 years old.
I'm kind of bothered now that it looks like an 11-year-old did it.
Ultimately, you're going to do something good if you really follow your own gut feeling.
Simone seemed disappointed with some of the work being more about drawing how he used to be like a kid.
See you tomorrow.
I couldn't really agree with him more.
Hey, Nicole.
Hi, Simone. How are you?
Very, very well. So, what have you been up to?
These 2 paintbrushes represent me and my sister, and underneath it is this kind of lunchbox type of thing.
And how will you present them? Flat on a surface, or will you hang them on a wall?
I'm going to hang them actually like so, but suspended up in the air.
So it's like layers of your memory.
Layers that are bringing foggy memories to the surface.
What I like about your approach is that you're not recreating the type of works you would have done as a little girl, but on the contrary, use your childhood memories in a very poetic way. So thank you so much, Nicole.
Thank you as well. Bye.
I always say, if you like candy, you want to work in the candy store. And right now, I feel like in the candy store. And these cigarettes are done out of...
Chalk?
Chocolate.
No.
Chalk. Okay.
I've even got the pretend lipstick prints.
Yes.
For the birthday party. I grew up in San Francisco, and right when I was young, AIDS hit my city, and so we lost a lot of people. I'm trying to recreate the innocence with my experience as a young person, and I started making this papier-mâché toy that is evocative for me and my youth. I really like the idea of this really long, ongoing tale. What you're doing in the work is trying to evoke your awakening as an artist, and yet bringing in the non-childhood elements that began to play an influence on your life, and there has the potential of doing something interesting there. Keep it up and go for it. Many thanks. Thank you.
Well, I just finished this part of the piece, and basically what I did was take an entire roll of duct tape and organize it into this symmetrical kind of grid-like design.
In what way does this work? Recall your childhood memories.
It doesn't. I don't think there's anything about my childhood that would reference appropriately the topic of this challenge.
You consider yourself an artist today?
I don't know yet. I don't consider myself not an artist, but I don't think I'm fully there yet.
I definitely have personality conflicts with Miles. He's very talented, but overall I see him trying to get away with as much as possible. He's made that piece before. I see that as cheating, and I don't have a lot of respect for cheaters.
The fact that it's just black and white, is there a reason for that?
The idea behind it and the work itself is so conceptual that I did want to keep it really simple just because I didn't want anyone to be bogged down by a flashy kind of design.
Okay.
Thanks, Simone.
Thank you, Miles.
Have a good one.
Well, I finally just figured out the process I'm doing like an hour ago. So now I'm like on fast track. But
okay. What did you figure out?
When I was a child, one thing I really liked was when I would fold a piece of paper in half after painting it and then open it and there'd be like an abstract image because there's this element of surprise.
On their own, I don't think, besides just looking messy, that they are particularly appealing.
Yeah.
And I saw at the other table you were preparing some stuff with some pipe cleaners and fluffy material and all of that. Are you going to use any of that
No,
in your work?
I don't like it anymore.
You've changed your mind?
Yeah.
So you're going down that route?
Like, did you think the pipe cleaners were more interesting or something?
Well, I thought there was something intriguing about it. But, you have to do what you feel inside you is the right thing.
I'm scared that I'm not going to do a good job on this challenge.
Thank you so much, Jacqueline.
Bye.
Bye.
I want to say something that has significance, but it's a hard thing for me to be really open.
Otis, you have the whole night to get your work completed and 1 hour tomorrow. I must tell you that I'm quite concerned with what I've seen so far. I am slightly unimpressed, to put it mildly, so you better get your act together, is all I can tell you.
At this point, morale just crashes. Even the people who Simone gave a good crit to don't seem very optimistic.
This all the more that I want you to be fully aware that nobody is going to get immunity from now on to the end of the competition. So, so you really got to get it right. And I'll see you tomorrow at the exhibition.
Thanks, Simone.
Now that there isn't any immunity, I feel like it's going to make people push it a little bit harder.
It's crazy how, when somebody reveals something to you about your own work, things just completely shift. I take a step back, look at my piece, and I agree with them. I'm looking at it, and it's kind of cliche. I have no idea what I'm going to do. I don't even want to bring this close to the gallery wall.
Coming up on Work of Art.
What am I doing?
I like that.
Mark's piece is kind of a cop-out.
So I make rubber band balls.
I didn't really realize it. Miles is kind of like this big douchebag.
I think one side's a little lopsided.
Once Simone leaves, a lot of us are questioning some of the ideas we're having. One piece of artwork that I haven't quite figured out is Peregrine's. Peregrine had a very weird childhood growing up in a very drug kind of hippie culture, and her piece is definitely referential to her as a kid, and I guess that's what this is supposed to be all about.
Wow, that actually looks exactly like the toy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks. I saw a lot of them in my life. Children thrive under harsh conditions, and it was a blessing that my parents were willing to let me be cared for in the company of all different kinds of people as a kid.
Survey question. What are some of the things people used to ask you to draw for them?
Ponies.
Ponies?
Different cars.
Cars, yeah, I wrote that. I took to heart Simone's concerns. I feel like he was definitely dead on, the piece I was working on, it just wasn't good. And even though I wanted to do a tribute to my mom, I want to flat out win this challenge even more, so I've decided to do something different.
The Nike.
Yeah, I said the Nike swoosh, yeah, shoot.
Bugles.
Yeah, you're good at remembering that, oh my God. Rainbows. I'm doing a set of drawings of things that people would have me draw when I was in school.
Spider jets?
Jets.
People wanted me to draw math equations.
Quadratic formula, go. Do you remember it?
A squared plus B squared.
No, that's
I use that thing all the time.
Cool. I'm making these abstract paintings, but Simone just thinks the work I'm doing right now is a little unfocused, and he suggests doing something maybe sculptural with the pom-poms and pipe cleaners, but even though I really want to listen to him, I can't figure out what to do with them. I definitely don't want to go home, so I'm working really hard to try to come up with some kind of solution to this.
I do agree with Simone, and I do get a little bit worried. I decide that I need to add another level to my piece and make it more complex, but stay in the same direction. There's so many emotions going into this piece to make it a strong one. Hopefully that will come across to the judges.
You know, it's kind of too literal, which has been my problem the whole time, so.
I think that's my problem too.
A lot of us underestimated how difficult this challenge is going to be. We're to a point in the competition when every piece counts, so the stakes are just that much higher. We have a half hour, so we got to be out. Oh, shoot.
There's some peanuts and pretzels.
I don't think Simone was really impressed by what I'm doing, so I want to do something fun and playful with color. I found this huge bag of rubber bands that were red, yellow, and blue, so I make rubber band balls to add some color to my piece.
I didn't really realize it until very recently, but Miles is kind of like this big douchebag. He is not doing the challenge. His way of solving that was by making rubber band balls.
It's so serendipitous that these are primary colors, and I'm using black and white.
Oh, God.
10 minutes left.
What am I doing?
Time's up at the museum, and I got a lot to get done for tomorrow. It's getting down to the wire, you know? There's not too many of us left. No more immunity. I definitely don't want to go home.
This challenge is a lot more complicated than any of us thought. And it's been emotionally a hard day.
There's the two of us.
Especially with Ryan tapping into the younger struggles that he had as a kid.
To have the entire conception of it, it's more important than the actual product. Like, my piece isn't something that I would normally be proud of, but like at the same time, I have a way of explaining it, which I think will work.
Ryan, I love you, but you look like you're drunk. Stoned.
I look like I'm dead.
Yeah.
What I need most at this point is to sleep on it. With art, you make it, and then you go to sleep, and then the next day you wake up, and it could turn into a very nice wine, or it could turn into vinegar.